We are back in the house, Bass and Bonsai, live again, doing our thing, right? So, we got a little, this isn't the unboxing part. We got a little unboxing to get to, a few baits I picked up. Still have not found a good hook for that. We're going to talk about the size of swim baits and stuff like that. But for those of you that don't follow the channel, you need to start following the channel. Go back like 7 years ago and start over, and we'll see you in a while. We have over 1,500 videos now, probably getting close to 2,000 videos out. Mainly bass now, but there are some bonsai, some pew-pew videos, stuff like that. So, I want to give you guys a little update on, if you remember right, I just picked up this reel to go on this rod, hopefully, and I switched the knobs around. I'm still undecided, but I did get out and do some test casting. And I found a couple things. This reel, if you guys remember right, I'm going to show you the braking system. So, and I was up at Rogers today when I was picking up some stuff, and I looked at basically not every Lew's, but the older Custom Pro, the Custom Pro, which is totally different, and then the Hypermag, which we have. The older Custom Pro was like brakes like this, okay? The Hypermag has brakes like this. The Hypermag and this reel are night and day difference on how the sound is. This reel is extremely quiet and casts extremely well. The Hypermag casts extremely well and is extremely loud. I don't know what it is about that reel. So if any of you guys have the Lew's, and I believe there's probably some Abu Garcias out there with this braking system, comment whether your reel's loud or not. And comment if you can actually shut or turn these on or off. I'm not even sure. But this thing, I got it out there, and let me talk about that too. So I left the line for now. I don't know if I'm going to leave it or not, but I just left it. I strung it up on this rod, went out. And so what I had to adjust, and I've talked about this before in a bait, how to set up a bait casting video, bait casting reel. This dude here was tight enough that, so this was set on 5. You can see where I have it now. The numbers are faded down there, but you can still see them if you really look. That's somewhere around 9. It probably, I don't even know what it goes to, probably 12. But anyway, it's turned up because it's got like a full, it's probably a little over full of line, but if I use that line, I'm going to take some off. But anyway, when I got it rigged up, I kind of use this to grab, and when I tie on one of my snaps kind of deal, and I take it off, and then I put on a 16th ounce crappie jig. But before I did that, I wanted to see where they had it tightened up, because I knew it was a little bit tighter than normal. So anyway, I wanted to see how this would drop, right? So I let this drop, and that was tight enough that this barely dropped. So that's kind of the old school way of adjusting these. It's still a way if you're learning or when you very first start out, but you should adapt very quickly to get away from having this set to the point to where a heavy bait is not dropping real fast. The biggest reason is because as soon as you do that, you're adding resistance just to every other function on this reel, reeling and all this and that. That can prematurely wear out everything else, and it's just harder. You can there's no point in getting a super smooth and very good reel when you're going to crank that in, and then this is harder to turn just because you've actually got this cranked in, creating resistance. So ideally what I do is I want to just more or less get real close on where I set this on all my reels. So I put a 16th ounce, just a crappie jig or anywhere close to, between a gram or 2, just enough weight that'll give you a gauge on where to have that set, because I know you can think you've got it set pretty good on what they call just by taking out side-to-side play, but you'd be surprised how one's side-to-side play is different from somebody else's, or even you and your reels, to where the point where you may have more resistance on one reel over another. So that 16th ounce, and when you tighten it just enough to where it only, it kind of only, free spins, it's going to be going the other way, but where it just rolls maybe once or twice. It doesn't like let it, completely keep unwinding, because if you got it completely loose, it will do that. If you got it too tight, it won't let just the slightest amount of weight start to pull the spool, which is pretty freed up. You're not even going to feel the difference between this dropping slow, and when it hits the ground, nothing keeps going off, or this dropping sort of fast, and this will overrun a little bit. But somewhere right in there is where I recommend setting this. So anyway, they had it set like that, and I cast it. I mean, it'll cast. This was turned to 5, and it was casting fine. But that's just, you kind of want to get away from that. You want to go with this only as tight as it needs to be. That's why I recommend this, and then you adjust this up as you need to be. Now, the only time you might want to use that, if for whatever reason you crank this all the way to the highest setting and you're still struggling with overruns or backlashes, then you might want to worry about tightening that up. But even like if you're out and it gets windy, just click this another notch tighter, or 2 if needed, throwing into the wind or whatever. You want to try to avoid that once it's set. I know Dye was real big about calling it a zero adjuster, but it should have an initial setting, and then periodically, every couple months, 6 months, or each season, you should recheck that and readjust that, because there are little pads that spool shaft sets rides on that they will. It basically should probably loosen up as you go, and if you set it when it was extremely cold and it gets hot, it can change, or if it, vice versa kind of thing. So it's something, it doesn't hurt to just slap a crappie jig on it for the weight wise and just double check it. I don't do it that often on mine, but it doesn't hurt to check it every so often. So anyway, enough about that. So this reel, it palms a little bigger than I thought it would, but I even put it on the tequila back rack thinking maybe I'd put it on it, but I'm going to stick with the HLC on that. I'm going to leave this one on this, give it a shot kind of deal. And then I got to get with Jeremy, make sure he still wants the Dobbins. Otherwise, the Dobbins is the Custom Pro is going to stay on it without that handle. I don't know what I'm doing handle wise anyway. Okay, so now let's go to unboxing. I was debating. Hang on, one more thing. I was thinking about this reel, getting the GLX 6'8" MBR rod. But after up at Rogers today, I also grabbed like all of they have actually the 2 rods that are at the hookup tackle that I've been thinking about buying one or the other. They're only $399 right now because they're used. They're considered a 9 out of 10. So basically ones they probably took out and used once and then are just reselling, but they can't sell them as new. So they've got the 783 NRX Plus MBR, and then the bladed jig rod NRX Plus. And Rogers has both of those in stock for like $650 or whatever. So I got my hands on both, but I'll be honest, I'm not overly impressed. So I don't think, and that wasn't what I originally intended to get for this reel anyway. But I'd been debating about those rods, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't know. So, although they don't have a true 803 GLX, they have several GLX different models, and they did have the 6'10" jerkbait rod. I think they call it JBR. And I got a feel of it, but I don't know. Those rods for the GLX rod, you can't find the newer version because they just came out with newer versions, all black. They kind of remind you of the old GL2. Very good looking rods, but are they worth $500, $550? Honestly, probably not. Might be better off to go with the P5, in my opinion. But anyway, so this this reel is without a rod, and it's just sitting around collecting dust. But no, it's not for sale. I'm going to find something to put it on if I even have to switch it up again or whatever. So if you remember right, I bought this bad boy a while back. I think I got 5 of them. I briefly threw it. You haven't seen any video footage because it did not get a bite, because probably this huge honking hook scares everything off. So I got to reconfigure that. I'm probably going to take this off, do the KVD deal, which he didn't invent it. And I forget who he said he watched copy him, but basically turn it into line through with the treble hook, and it's something I already have all the components. I just need to do it and do away with that, and just throw it around like I would a mag draft kind of deal. Because it does swim around. That's just too big and gaudy, I think, of a hook. But if you remember right, we got back into the smaller swim bait game. So we've got a couple of, I got a 10 pack of these, hopefully at least this small, which I believe is what they call, I think this is either, it's like 45 millimeter by 16 millimeter. But it's just almost too big for those little 275s, but it should get the job done. And then this, by the way, is the colors are a little off, but that's the same color through AliExpress Meredith. Their version of the, so the smallest one you can get through them is the 275 basically. If any of you guys are looking through there. So somebody did comment when I was talking about these. If you go to that video, if you remember that video where I was talking about those, they commented wanting the link, and the link is in that in the comments after that video. I found one of the links. I couldn't find another link for whatever reason. I've got two different brands of these coming from AliExpress because they're comparing them to the Bronco. The Bronco is not the first thing that was. The Bronco is a copy of, I believe it's the OSP Doe Live Beaver is what this called, I think, the original. And then this is a smaller version of those. So you got to have a, you know, it's not the full-size Bronco through Rapala or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to give these a shot like we talked about. So I went, first of all, to, on my lunch break, because I pass right by it every day. So I stopped by Cabela's, which is Bass Pro, because every time you go in there, you leave with the Bass Pro bag, not a Cabela's bag. And I think they even sit there and tell you, welcome to Bass Pro when you walk in. So that's what I needed. 3/4, not 5/8 or 7/8 or whatever I had been buying, but that is supposed to be the size. Get out of here with your crazy machines. Anyway, and then I went ahead and I bought these, and I'm not going to use them for a swim bait. I'll talk about that later, but I've been looking at these for, I don't know, since they came out. Not for that crazy, and they do have these Mustad hooks at Cabela's and Rogers, the squared off Mustad. You guys comment if you've used any of those. They look weird. So my plan for these, and I'm going to open them up, we're going to look at them, is to cut them down, whatever it takes to get this. I want this tail on a few of my different basic, like, swim jigs, right? So let's pull one out. So like this, instead of going with something like this, maybe I'm going to go with like a crazy boot tail that will make this thing move. Like, here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do the Alabama shake without me doing the Alabama shake. There's a whole point behind those, what you call it. So anyway, oh, I do have some of those. No, I don't. Anyway, I'm going to open those in a minute. But if you remember right, the main thing, the reason I'm just going to stop and get it, because this is a bait that I've been going to buy since I bought my first Vision 110 Plus 1 Juniors. I bought the two different colors, and at the time I just couldn't make myself buy this one. And I've looked at it, I don't know how many times now. And that last time we went fishing, the water was clear enough, and I felt like if I would have had this color on a 110 Plus 1 Junior, I would have, you know, maybe gotten on an actual jerkbait bite. But that is the matte shad color, and it's, I think, and then they've got a few more. I think they've had this thing in stock up at Cabela's by the Legends for years now. But that color, just to me, is one of the more natural colors that you can get in pretty much any bait, right? So this goes along with my Table Rock Special, which everybody calls Northern Lights or Northern Secret, but it's not. It's Table Rock Special and my Elegy Bone, E-Bone for short, because nobody knows exactly how to pronounce it. But now we have a matte shad to go with those other two, and that's the only three of these little baits I think I need, or anybody needs. Probably all you ever need on a jerk bait, honestly. If you're not big into jerk baits, get, I don't know, depending on how dirty. If you got real dirty water, get the E-Bone or something bright. If you've got real clear water and you just want to try out a jerk bait, and you can pretty much throw it on anything. But the KVD jerkbait rod seems to be real good with these and most other ones I've tried. I'm gonna leave that out there for now because I put the other ones up. I didn't put. They're not in my day box anymore. So I'm gonna put this one in the boat, and if I still have the receipt, I got to take the other two back that I originally bought. So this is the first time I've ever had a plastic one. I'm hoping. I already see like a stress mark on it, if you guys can see that. But this is one that floats, right? And is bright. I can't lose it. Hits the water in early spring and something's going to swallow it and choke on it because it's red. So anyway, bought that. Get that out of there. I want to open these up real quick because I'm curious to look at these tails. It's like this is all clear. This is just back there to move, and this is the profile it's given off is this little short, stubby bluegill, right? Green, pearl. I was kind of debating between there's the white and then the ones with more like a summer crawl type colors, but then I went with this one, kind of that electric-y shad color on bottom, sort. I don't know. I think this one, what little bit of color after I get done. How do you open these things? So these were $10 for 4. I thought about getting the longer ones, but then you cut yourself down to 3. I think these will be long enough by the time I'm done. Okay, that's how I open them. I just wanted to take one out. Oh yeah, they're pretty soft. So you see there, you got a huge honking deal back there that's going to create. So let me find a jig, and it really, you know what? Hang on. Don't go anywhere. The plan is to take like something like these guys I just bought, rig them up on that, like cut this down. Okay, so slender it down like you guys will see me do for the chatterbait kind of stuff, and then to where that's going to be what's back there giving this bait hopefully a lot of movement. Now these were, like I said, it was $10, so like $2.50 each. These I was getting, they're more now from AliExpress, but these were only like a couple bucks. I don't know how long this will last. It does seem pretty soft, so as long as, it may be one of those baits where you got to watch casting it around dinks or something, I don't know. And I may go ahead and rig one up because they do look like something that may work pretty good, standalone. But I see where I could rig these up like I'm talking about doing. It's basically just the head. So literally from here and just shave the top off and then cut this bottom belly part out also to where it's just rigged up. The skirt is going over it and it's going to be there. So literally I really only have to cut it down enough to where the hook will have penetration kind of thing. So I could probably just cut it off right at the eyes. You know what I mean? And to where it's enough. But anyway, I'm going to work on that configuration for that. Well, it could go on any of them, but mainly it's for the swim jigs. But where's my other dude at? I mean, you could probably, depending on how much you want to cut it down, rig it up, put it on even something real small, because the odds of that really making, a lighter weight, more finessey jig shake even more. But like I said, I'll figure out how much of what I can cut. Probably just slender the belly down, take the top, basically see where this hump is, take that off, and just use it as a swim jig trailer is the plan. All right. Whoa, that don't go there. So let's leave those out. Let's move this. I was looking for my other bluegill dirty jigs. Also, I noticed that Rogers now has a pretty good assortment of dirty jigs in. They've got a little section of the wall with dirty jigs in it now, so that's kind of cool. And yes, if this does work and works extremely well, then I could, go. It's just investing $10 in a trial thing here and seeing what I think. If this really brings these swim jigs to life, you might want to go. They make several different kinds and sizes and all that, and it's something I may want to adapt and try. But if like this gets ripped off after like 3 dinks, no matter how good it works, it may be out. But that concept may be something to think about doing in something more firm. It's kind of a cool idea, though. It's got this huge deal that is clear to where it should create a lot of vibration. And this is you know what I'm saying? I don't know. We'll see. Plus, you could always add a little color to that if you wanted to, just a little to intensify it. All right. Now that you guys got the gist of that, let's go with, I'm also on my Swimbait deal. So the main reason I went up to Rogers, I don't even know if I don't even think I got what I went up to Rogers to get. So if you guys don't know, Tackle Warehouse now, and Charles, if you're listening, veterans get an extra 10%, but there's 10% discount on a lot of stuff at Tackle Warehouse. So some of that stuff I'm going to be ordering. Probably I make an order before the weekend's up. But so I was up at Rogers, and some of the first gen stuff, they're the ones that also make that little BB headed. What was that? Oh, they make that little BB headed chatterbait also, but they had these on clearance, and I just got one of each to try. They do have like 5 to 8 of these left, and a couple different colors of these, and it's overspin. So 5-aught hook roughly is what they call it, but it doesn't really look like it's as big as a 5-aught to me. But these two are 1/4 ounce, and so they should be good for our 3.3, 3/8, possibly a 4, maybe not quite big enough for a 4, and they've got a few other bigger sizes there. But then these they have, and they do have these in an underspin. They didn't have any at Rogers with Bass Pro. So they had these. These weren't on clearance. These are clearanced out. I don't think they're in trim anymore, but these they have quite a few of. And I was curious to that little lip on them, what these will do for me and my swim baits, and will they handle the littlest of swim baits. So I guess we're going to find that out right now. Let's open a package up, because I'm going to go order, I think, a few of the Berkeley Fusion swim bait heads, the Great Lakes Finesse underspin, the Dirty Jigs underspins. Because what I'm finding is it's hard to find a real good head that has just the right overall size hook for these littler baits. But anyway, I figure for $4, $1 a piece, right? I will try these out. Wow, oh my God, that's sharp. That just like poked me. So yeah, that should be just fine. Rig that dude up. I could probably even cut it to there. See how they give you the little notch, how far you want to go technically. So I could even cut that little deal off, flatten it up. Those are good little. This should give it, I would think, some sort of wiggle. So I think that'll be a good little addition. We will try these. We're doing our little to the top to the bottom of our swim bait game. So I got those color, or the kind of a green pumpkin-y for any of the darker stuff. There wasn't a lot there, but I think I'll just try these. I'm going to try to get out through this week, maybe this weekend, and then if I like them, I'll probably order a few different colors from Tackle Warehouse, since Rogers only had this small size. That's the only option I had, or these two colors. The underspin looks like it would let the blade hit. It's not really, doesn't go down far enough. One of the reasons why Tactical Bassin claims theirs is, one of the reasons why they came out with theirs, kind of deal. So anyway, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So I figured this color would be good enough, close enough for our electric shad Strike King ones. And I think I will. It'd probably be better to just cut it flush to where it'll mount up flush with that, and just give us a little, just little bitty Swimbait heads, kind of like the Oshikira. They may want the Oshikira heads, they may not. Then I got these coming from AliExpress. I don't know when they'll show up, but I bought like a 10-pack for $4. And then also Charles had John Coo. I can't find, Charles has one size smaller than that I want to get also. But I couldn't find them. I can't find them. I can't find everything on AliExpress. You guys think I can. And some of the stuff I've already bought, I can't find again, because I go all the way, scroll down to where I bought it 2 years ago or 4 years ago, and I click on that, and it's like, oops, it's no longer there, and then I just can't find anymore. But while I got you here, if you might want, so the medium light, let me get this rod here. So I found, and I almost, I got two of these sitting here that I don't even hardly ever use. So this quick rod, you guys heard me talk about it. This quick rod is like the feeling, right? It's the medium light. The light is the feeling. You can't get the feeling, and you can only get two right now. But right now, this one, the 6'8" 2-piece medium light quick, is on AliExpress for like $79. Then the 7'3" medium heavy, which I never had, it's the Powerful, I think it's called. It's $79. That's the only two rods you can get. But these are those, if you guys remember right, they came with the crazy, some of them had different textured of the wood grainy type handles. I ended up switching all of mine over to like this. And I still have this one because this is an excellent, actually what's funny is this is an excellent rod for, it's going to sound like I'm it's going to sound like I don't like women, but for little girls and women that fish with you, it's excellent for the small jackhammers. Like if I take, whether it was, there's a video I've just rewatched again, Olivia, everybody, Valencia, kids, like you take somebody fishing in the back of your boat that's not real familiar with fishing, and you give them this and put like that that little bitty jackhammer, which I actually have it sitting right here somewhere. You either give them like something like this, like a small jackhammer, or the knockoff, or the little micro with just a little one of these little swim baits, or the 3.3s on it, and they will flat out catch a big bass on this rod. Like it's a no-brainer. When I use this rod, I use the medium. I tried it and this one, honestly, both for chatterbaits, and I didn't like either one of them. I felt like my hookup ratio was just, something was lacking on both of these. But what I like this for, this was actually a good jerkbait. It's a good all-around rod. The feeling I like for shaky heads. This is also would make excellent shaky head if you use any of the bigger shaky heads, like not the VMC, the little fine 2-aught fine wire one. But a great all-around rod that I probably just was too hard on these rods for what I was trying to do, because the feeling, what I like this, still my favorite of the bunch. But anyway, go to AliExpress, type in Lure Star, and you'll come across those. They're the purpley looking rods. You can't miss them. $79 for this rod or the 7'3" medium heavy. And they are 2-piece. And so I put them both in my cart and I clicked on the deal, and it was like going to be $156 and something, tax, shipped and all, because it's free shipping. So, and I almost bought them, but I already have one just sitting here right now, and I've never had the 7'3" because I was always going to get it, and it's because it comes with a crazy long handle. I was going to get it, put one of these handles on and leave it shorter, turn it into at least a 7 or a 6'11" was my plan. I have too many things going on, but it is there on AliExpress. Some stuff on AliExpress seems like it's kind of went down a little, and then other stuff seems like it went right back up. So I'm still just kind of holding out, other than I did need some of these, and I knew that size I wanted, and I bought 10 of them for like $4 instead of spending $7 for 2 or whatever. Because, well, you can ask Charles. The John Coos and all them, they seem to all work pretty good. Every once in a while, though, Charles throws his on a little too light a rod. He's like throwing a... That's one thing. Like these, even though they're lightweight, you want a good setup, but you want a little bit of stiffness to a rod that just gets a penetration through that. So if you throw like a ultralight, your hookup ratio might be a little off. So these are kind of tricky. You want to... honestly, like the Teton, I feel that the rod I was just showing you would be an excellent one for that kind of thing too. Or my this rod right here, the Conquest that I was throwing the Oshikira heads and all that stuff on, should be enough. So let's take these out. Now these are going to be too big for our little bitty Real Finesse, but let me just go ahead and get them both out. I was kind of holding them up to the 3.3s and all that kind of stuff, so we'll grab one of those here in a second. Oh my gosh. But I figure for $4, it's worth giving these a try also. So these are definitely a little stiffer, a little bigger hooks. Yeah, these, pretty much any of your lightweight stuff, you won't have any kind of problem with that kind of deal. So I would say even ultralight, like that shouldn't be too much for almost anything. These you're going to definitely want to have, just like I'd mentioned with this, when you're trying to go through, and it's got to kind of push the plastic out of the way and stuff, even though this hook is probably similar. You're probably going to want possibly a light, but a medium light, maybe a light, depends on what rod. These, in fact, are open. What I liked about these, and if I should have just bought all they had for $4 each, because I like the idea that's going to work kind of like a weed guard, and give it a little whatever. But worst case scenario, even if this breaks off or loses, I've still got a little Swimbait jig head kind of deal that has this guard on it, which it's hard to get those. I actually bought these back in the day. They came with where's mine at? Hang on. I know I had one. I would buy the Jewel. Oh my gosh. Well, I might as well just get this thing out here and show it to you, because I bought these on AliExpress a while back. Those I've never really... It's this crazy... That thing, I briefly tried them. I don't like those. They're just not me. But this, like Jewel style head with just a single deal, they actually were a little micro, or not micro, but finesse jig. They come in like a 2-pack. I would buy those just so I'd have that head to put on a swim bait on it, and then kind of have a little built-in weed guard. It's amazing how much better it'll get around, and the chance of running into a brush or something, it won't get stuck as easy. So let's go. Is this the bigger one? No, that's the little dude still. Where's the full size? That's the little dude. Is that still a little one? They're all little. Where's the, here we go. That's a bigger one. So we go from, and there's not a huge difference. They're quite a bit bigger around, but the 275s and then the 3 whatever is just a little bit of difference. That's what this one is, cut down a little bit. So these, well, got it upside down. Should start out there, like you should be able to run, you know, your 3.3s, your 3.8s, probably even a bigger one. It's just the minute you start getting bigger, more of a chance of them short striking kind of thing. So you, but you could also go with where's the big one, which I do, and I'm probably going to do a little more. But like, well, let's just go with the right color here, or closer color. So you could take one of these big ones and trim it down. You know, you can always do that if you want to, like I want a bigger, floppier tail, cut it down a little bit, you know, so to speak, and then just kind of, you want to get the head close to what the head, you know, the back of that. But this one's a funky one. It was kind of molded wrong. But that is a very big, like I wouldn't recommend rigging it like this, even though you could. The chances of something, you know, you're going to miss. I always like to get, I don't know, within 2 inches for sure. I don't want any more sticking out, unless it's like a, you know, a treble hook, like an underbelly deal here, and a very big bait, like maybe, you know, you're hunting big fish. But still, even with this bait, you always have to be on the, you know, chances once you get something sticking too far out the back, something may come up and just hit it and rip it off. That kind of deal. So, gonna try those out. Also gonna get some of the Z-Man bullets, because my theory is they make the pros or whatever, they're bigger, and then they got the finesse ones. Is basically I want to find something to where, whether, now these I'll probably have to stick with these, because this probably won't slide over those Z-Man, because they got a lot of weight right here. But I'm going to get some a couple different sizes of those bullets. So I'm going to get like the pros. I'm going to get the, I believe it's 3/0 hook, because I think this is like a 1 or a 1/0. So I'll probably get the smaller ones. But then for like, I think between a 1 or a 1/0 and then a 3/0, you can cover a lot of soft plastic with the Lastech and other stuff, and then try the bullets out, and maybe even get the little ones for the TRDs and these little swim baits, or the little Z-Man. I've got several others scattered around here. I forget the name of them now, but several other different deals. So I'm going to get a couple of those, since they're right now they are 10% off from Tackle Warehouse. And a lot of other stuff, like everything actually in my cart. So like I was going to get a few more of I was going to get that one color of a Thunder Cricket that I've been debating on buying with the gold blade, and they were on sale for almost $9, and then now they're like $7 after the discount or whatever. So I may go ahead and pick that one up, even though I don't need any more chatterbaits. The Core Tackle Shimmy Rig, the Ozark Rig. I got one. I just thought I'd get one of each of those to try. I should probably jump on there and get a couple more of those flash skirts from Do It Molds. I've had a peanut butter and jelly one and the old school gill in my cart, but then I took them off a while, I don't know, a week or so ago. Because I'm like, I don't need any more, honestly, skirt material or jigs or none of that. But then what else? I don't know. I have like $100 worth of stuff of basically just get it and try it stuff. Oh, the dirty jigs, underspin, the swammers in the 3-inch swammers, a couple different colors of those that should be good. Just a few, like it's really not a lot, adds up to $100 pretty quick, as that's why I took some stuff off. And then now I knocked it down to 68. Now it's only like 61 with the 10% discount that kicked in. So anyway, I guess I'm going to get off here and start tinkering with stuff. I'm going to try if I can get out tomorrow. As soon as I get off work, I'm going to try to go down, if nothing else, to George Owens and have that rod and reel rigged up. Not going to be throwing a little stuff with it, but maybe a couple of these small ones I might have rig up. Probably some of these stuff on each heads and throw with this guy, but then I might another thing I've been wanting to go do just because I haven't done it yet is I kind of want to go out one day, and I might do it tomorrow. I want to take my favorite rod and reel combo that literally has not thrown a lot of stuff because I jumped on this rod with chatterbaits, and I think I want to see just how many things this rod will be good for. So it's a little stiff, but I guarantee you these, it should be able to throw the bigger one. It just can't throw that. That's out the deal. But like this, I should be able to throw. It should actually be pretty good for that. It should definitely be able to handle what I was throwing the other day on the 803, which is basically the 3/0 hook, right? So like that right there should be a no-brainer. Should be able to handle it. I just think I saw a lizard run right between my dumbbells. Oh boy. What's funny is I'm not near as scared of a lizard as I am a snake or a spider. But yeah, I think I got 4 dumbbells, 2 45s and 2 30s standing up, and I just watched something zigzag through the hexagon things. Uh-oh. Better get Mako. I don't see it anymore. It couldn't have been a snake. It was a little too. It's too short. Not the wrapper. It was too short. What do you guys think? That's a good color, isn't it? Look at that dude. That dude, he just wants to get bit. He wants a mohawk. He's got a mohawk. He wants a buzz cut right there. So comment below, like I mentioned, if you've tried like that Mustad, wherever I threw it up. The Mustad hook, or what you guys think about these. If you've tried these first gen things, because first gen, they actually make this, they make some kind of weird spinner. They make a few different things. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Before I get off here, I was watching Tackle Warehouse's deal today, the new stuff or whatever was out. And man, I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, maybe some of you will laugh immediately. Like, so they had this, you know, that company, I forget the name of it now, but they've got like their little, basically kind of design stuff with super crazy thick mono type, you know, plastic wire instead of, you know, using like, you know, true wire or, you know, this kind of wire. So it's usually like, you know, clear mono to make these like umbrella rigs, so they're lighter, and then these little add-on like make your own spinnerbait. But then they got this little thing. I thought that's cool, and it's literally, you know, you got a loop here and it's clamped, and a loop here it's clamped, and on one end you're going to slide it onto your deal like this. Okay, well, probably if you're going to use an underspin, and then it's got down here, it's got you know, a blade attached, right? So you just kind of take any swim bait, you know, these little dudes like this, and you turn it into an underspin. That sounds cool in theory. They want like $14 for a 2-pack. Well, I can just go buy the whole, like I can go get any 2 real good underspin for that price of those little freaking mono. Like, it's ridiculous. So like, no, thank you. Go stick it to somebody else. I'm not biting, you know, kind of deal. So I don't know. Some of the stuff nowadays just makes you go, yeah. I won't be buying any of that stuff. That's for sure. But I am interested to see what these do on the Wiggle Waggle Woggle. I'll find that out tomorrow. Just see how these go at all, because they do still have these at Tackle Warehouse. So I don't think they're being discontinued. And you guys comment if you use anything first gen. I know they're the ones that got a couple different. I've been debating about trying that little chatterbait. They got the little or not miniature, but they got the first gen regular size, and I think they made a smaller one to try to, they knew the game was going with the mini max and all that kind of stuff. So I've been debating about trying one of those. And so this will be the first time trying any of their products. And I figured I'd give it a shot because it was like, what, $16, and I got all these different items to try. And like I said, worst case scenario, if this here cheapy thing is cheap, I mean, it's definitely made small, but even if it does wear out to the point where it didn't seem like I could use that as a, or just doesn't do something right I don't like, I could always just use it as a regular kind of a swim bait head with a guard on it for $4. I think these back when I think I was for $5 or $6, you could get 2 of these, and I would just peel the skirt off and started slapping swim baits on them. This one I just kind of tried to shorten it up a little bit. These are all the same color. And I'm debating on which tackle box. I want to get a different tackle box also, but I can't decide. There's the Wild River one, which I kind of want. It's got the light on it. And then there's Aftco has one that they similarly. What I want one that my boxes go in, and I never do this with them. So I just pull them out, get whatever, use it, put it back. They're so the Aftco I'm looking at, and then the Wild River, they're basically, I'll be able to take, and this is a Bash Pro Shops, take 5 3700 boxes, so like 5 of my day boxes, and each box will be dedicated. One will be my chatterbaits, one will be probably spinnerbaits and jigs. So like now this is a smaller box, just totally loaded, and I've also got some jigs that can't even fit in here. I've got 2 of these as chatterbait boxes. So the plan is not to like take this stuff out and that kind of stuff. The plan is basically make 5 day boxes of separate stuff that I just replenish, as if I'm going fishing, kind of like I do with this one, because this dude here, I'm to the point now to where, because I like the idea, and I'll tell you, I guess I should explain myself. I like the idea of when I open a box, everything I need for any specific, bait is there. So I like the idea of opening it up and say, I'm like, okay, I want to underspin. So I'm going to have a box, instead of them all disorganized and just stuffed in here like this, to where, so basically a swim bait box. And it may be even that one big swim bait in here, but I'll have a section where I've got like and if I do have Elastec or whatever, I will have to separate that, but it'll probably be mainly just my plastics that aren't Elastec. Elastec I'll probably try to keep out of all of these boxes. Like if I wanted to pull this out, I want to also be able to grab, have an assortment of what I'm thinking will be working at any given time in that one box. So like when I get to my chatterbait box, I'm going to want to have my chatterbaits organized enough so I can see them to get to them. And then I can grab the, and maybe not all of them, but an easy, kind of like I have right now. I guess I should stick with the swim baits like I was. So let's say I grab this head and I'm like, okay, I just need to grab, okay, let me slap that dude on it. That way I don't have to go track down the box. Where's the box with these Merediths? Where's the box with the white speckled Merediths? Which either of these I think could imitate a crappie, or like this color. So I'll have, the little dudes in there. So the 275s, I'll have also a whole section with some, bigger 375, a little bit of separation to it where I can just look in and see them. Where now I've got a lot in here, but I've got to set and dig and then the chances of the tails being out of whack and all that are even more. So little more organized. So I'll probably have, it's a possibility the spinner baits and spinner like will maybe be in one, or the jigs and the I haven't decided on that yet, but there'll be 5 boxes to have different things. I'm thinking just one box will be all my hard baits, and I won't take like worry about the whole thing, because I'll be honest, I'll probably have 3 to maybe 6 jerk baits. I'll have maybe the same amount of rattle traps, square bills, possibly even my top waters, right? Because as you can see now, it's not much difference, but now I will also have a backup kind of deal going with this. But anyway, I don't bring a lot in my day box, but then I always bring my tackle boxes to pull anything else out. But there's like Dr. Frankenstein. I could even go BFS fishing if I want. There's more down there. There's the crawdad one. These freaking Karashi knockoffs that I don't know. I can't get them to work right for me. I don't know. I was gonna buy the real deal. Oh yeah, and then for those of you that asked me about picking up one of the SV3s, because I've had such good luck with the knockoffs to get one. Well, I almost bought one at Rogers today, but they didn't have this color in a 3/4. So I may end up jumping on Tackle Warehouse when I do make that order, and I don't think Mega Bass is 10% off though for $12.99. They did have the. Oh shoot! You got to clean up your act, dude. You're on camera. What's wrong with you? They do have, I think, Wakasagi or whatever. It's the one. Well, hang on. I'll show you. They had up at Rogers. So let's just look at. I don't even know where this video is going. But now we're talking about spinner baits, and we'll try to wrap it up within an hour. So as of right now, here's my spinnerbait box, but I want to end this. I want to end up putting them into one day box, probably with it'll be spinnerbaits, and then I will turn all of this stuff into like in the spinnerbait box, because it doesn't take a lot of room for your swim bait stuff too. And then a lot of those 3.3s or whatever swim baits make good trailers, or you could go all the way to 3.8 on some of these spinner baits, so I could keep an assortment of different trailers and baits to use for the jig heads and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, these right here, this is the color that they had up at Rogers. So I already have one. Is this only, maybe this is the only color I have of this. So I have 3 of, are these a Wakasaki? I think I have 3 of those, maybe 4. There could be another one in the day box. I have 3 of those. I know I have 4 of, that's the Gil color. So that's that one. That's what it should look like when it's new. Let me just show you guys that. But this baby keeps on kicking on and catching fish. So there's what it looks like now. There's what it looks like, a new one that I haven't even thrown or haven't even changed the tails. I like it with a swim bait on the back. And I think the fish like it way better. So you see that dude's getting a little chewed up. But he definitely works. You know what? Maybe I should have bought that other one, because I thought I had, I guess I only have one of these. But I'll be honest, that color, it's not Fire Tiger. Here's Fire Tiger. I got one of those too. There's Fire Tiger, and then this is kind of a toned down. And then I robbed the blade off the Fire Tiger when I made my black and blue one. But that's my favorite color. Then would be this color. I do not even like the black and blue. I don't like black and blue spinnerbaits for nothing. As much as I like a black and blue chatterbait, I do not care for a black and blue spinnerbait. I mean, I've tried them. I still try them. I still have a couple. I can't find any confidence in a black and blue spinnerbait to save my life. And I'm not a huge fan of Fire Tiger in general. But I go fishing with anybody fishing with Fire Tiger, and they seem to catch fish. I do not like Fire Tiger that much. But anyway, this spinnerbait box is already overloaded, as you can tell. I've got the heavier ones here, and there's 3 over here that the most recent pickups that I haven't even done anything with. Those are those, I forget the brand name anyway. Nobies, but I can't remember. I thought these were a knockoff of something. But anyway, they've got a little bit, the blade looks the same, but it is nowhere near as thin as what those SV3 knockoffs are. But yeah, I got so many baits that I don't even, no time to throw them all. Any given time I hit the water, like I said, when you have over 150 chatterbaits, how are you going to throw the, I don't even know how many spinnerbaits this thing holds. What does it say? It says it holds 22. There are way more than 22 in there. Let me see. Okay, yeah, well, that's why. 1, 2. What was that, 10 or 11? How's it? Okay, so yeah, 11 slots on each side, but there's already, right over here, I've got 1 doubled up, so just 1. So there's 12 here. These are like doubled and tripled. So there's 2 here, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So yeah, there's like 18, close to 20 spinner baits, but they're I don't even know how many spinner baits are in here. 1, 2, there's another knockoff. There's the whatchamacallit one. We lost what's his face, remember? The Rick Clun one. There's another couple there. There's a white python one. Oh, here's our little whatchamacallit we made. The grass piece. Oh, we still have the dozen. I still have all the cheap ones. Where are those at? But let me just show you this, just so you guys can see the madness. Here is just a bunch of Z-Man stuff, but underneath this, if you guys remember right, are a bunch of just the cheap ones that I bought from Walmart that were only $1. So there's a bunch of those just in there that if I ever lose that one, because I hardly ever throw it anyway, just because I've got all these other ones that, so yeah. These are ones that I really like that I hardly ever get out too. I'm saving these for the place. When you go to Junebug likes the bluegill. Those are good little baits too. So I don't really need to buy any more spinner baits, especially ones for $12.99. But I might, just for this research, right? I'll do it for science. Oh boy. All right, dogs are back. I better get out of here. Anyway, hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the swim bait game, the madness, trying to get away from chatterbaits and trying to make myself like swim jigs, which I have not. I don't like spinner baits as well as chatterbaits, but I do like them. They're close. A swim jig, I do not like nowhere near as a regular. Just throw that jig like a flipping pitching style jig, or even a casting jig. Throw it out, let it hit bottom, work it, and you can still sort of swim those. But then the ones with the pointy heads that are actually intended to swim, and I ain't all for that sitting there shaking it while you're reeling, and I've tried some of these other bigger tails to try to give them some action or whatever, and then, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm sitting there the whole time the other day, and Charles was tearing them up on Junebug, and I switched to a Junebug Zinkers, but I was tearing them up on that green pumpkin, purple and gold flake baby brush hog. But this is the mid-sized brush hog because I couldn't find a baby brush hog in Junebug. But I had this other day. I never even pulled it out and threw it. I was just going to throw it with that wobble head to see what I thought of the wobble head. And I just pulled it back up the other day. I'm like, gosh, that's why I need one bigger box to like separate out some of that stuff. So anyway, get out, go bass and bonsai, but whatever you guys do, make sure you have fun doing it. I'm going to have fun, I don't know, destroying some soft plastic. See you guys later.